Now at 8 o'clock, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries continues his hours-long speech slamming Republicans over President Trump's big, beautiful bill. We're going to have the latest for you from the nation's capital coming up.
Meanwhile, some Oregonians take to the streets in protest over the bills that may cut Medicaid.
I'm not going to pretend that our state budget resources can backfill any of this.
As state Democrats lay out how they think the bill will hurt Oregonians.
Then a big change coming to schools throughout the state of Oregon.
Research is also saying that students aren't focused on learning because of the devices that they have.
Governor Kotek flexes her executive muscles, banning cell phones in classrooms across the state.
And later, the latest is Brian Kohberger pleads guilty. What the victims' families had to say about the decision.
Is this justice?
No.
No.
No. We're going.
We'll have those headlines and more as your 8 o'clock hour of sunrise starts now. Hey, good Thursday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Stephanie Domerat.
And I am Drew Carney. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis also on board with us on this Thursday, July 4th Eve. Gentlemen, what do you have for us weather-wise, Rod?
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Most of our area locally reporting mostly sunny skies, including Schnuckwitz Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Gorgeous. Look at that. Blue sky. Talk about no marine clouds. 53 is the early morning number. Similar view over downtown from the Rose City camera. We are now warming, of course, in the 8 o'clock hour. 57 is the temperature. And I think we'll match yesterday. 67 at noon, mostly sunny skies. 77 at 5 o'clock. Warmest temperatures in the valley, probably just touch 80 today. Chris, mighty fine.
That forecast is too fine, so I'm going to mess it up with not a great morning commute. Westbound I-84 right now is about a 31-minute ride in from Troutdale. Almost the entirety of that backup is inside the Gateway District. We've got two trouble issues. One remains, actually, I-5 south on the Markham Bridge. I'll zoom in. You can see ODOT with a disabled vehicle here on the southbound span of the Markham. The right lane is blocked. It's been blocked for about 45 minutes. And so the damage done to the morning commute is 84 westbound's puttering along. That earlier crash, by the way, on 84 near Lloyd Center out of the way. But between the two, that's kind of a slow drive this morning. Also through North Portland, the ripple effect from the Markham Bridge issue is that I-5 south is pretty slow getting past Lombard. Right now, that trip in from Clark County is not bad, but you do hit a wall of traffic right around Columbia Boulevard, and from there it's slow and go the rest of the way into town. Guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Let's give you a live look this morning of the House floor. So House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is still speaking against President Trump's big, beautiful bill. He has been talking for over 5 hours now. We've been checking in on this throughout the morning, using the unlimited speaking time granted to the House leaders.
You see Jeffries there reading notes from people across the country who could be impacted by the bill. He's now on at least his third binder of notes, and like Stephanie just said, he's still going.
Now, earlier this morning, a group of Republican holdouts changed their votes to support the rule allowing the package to clear a key procedural hurdle. That change prompted Jeffries to begin that marathon speech.
Republicans are hoping to pass the bill and get it to the president's desk before tomorrow's 4th of July holiday. That won't be easy if Jeffries is still talking, of course. NBC's Alice Barr brings us more on all of this from Washington, D.C.
Passed the one big beautiful bill.
After a grueling legislative battle, House Republicans appear poised to pass President Trump's massive tax and spending bill, following all-night delays, with the top Democrat in the House speaking for hours against the bill.
On behalf of the American people, on behalf of their health care, on behalf of their Medicaid, on behalf of their nutritional assistance.
Before finally voting to move ahead, President Trump worked the phones and aired his frustration, posting after midnight, "What are the Republicans waiting for?" Earlier in the day, he met with holdout Republicans at the White House, looking to ease concerns over the bill's spending, adding substantially to the deficit.
I think we got some good information from the president.
While moderate, Brian Fitzpatrick was ultimately the only Republican voting no on the procedural step, along with all Democrats, who slammed federal aid cuts projected to cost more than 11 million Americans their health insurance.
The largest cut to health care in our history, the largest transfer of wealth from working families to the billionaire class.
The extraordinary things in this bill are so important for the American people.
GOP leaders adamant the bill's key components extending the Trump tax cuts while funding defense and deportations. And the president, who wants it all done, will prove too popular for Republicans to turn down. President Trump has been pressing all along to get the bill to his desk before the July 4th holiday break begins, with concerns that allowing more changes would have stalled momentum and imperiled funding for his top domestic priorities. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
There has been plenty of local pushback on the spending bill here in Oregon. According to Oregon Democratic leaders, around 200,000 Oregonians could lose their health insurance if this bill passes.
And they say it would slash federal spending in Oregon by nearly $23 billion over the next 10 years, leaving many facing tough choices. At the center of the concern, proposed cuts to Medicaid. According to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, more than 11 million Americans could lose coverage by 2034. Some Oregonians took to the streets yesterday. Here's what they had to say.
Don't take your rights and privileges for granted. They are a privilege, and freedom isn't free, and we have to fight for it.
I'm a social worker. I work with people with developmental disabilities, and their home and community-based services are at risk because of all the Medicaid cuts.
Meanwhile, Republicans argue the bill cuts waste and fraud and provides tax relief across the board, while also strengthening Medicaid for those who they say truly need it. Some provisions include new work requirements, limiting funds for states that cover undocumented immigrants, and changes to the Children's Health Insurance Program. The bill also includes a $50 billion boost for rural hospitals over 5 years, but for many, that's not enough to ease worries about the cuts to this care.
Governor Kotek took another matter into her own hands this week, using her executive power to ban cell phones in classrooms across the state from kindergarten through high school. Oregon lawmakers tried to get this done themselves during the legislative session, but their efforts failed. So the governor made it happen on her own. She's requiring every school district in the state come up with a cell phone ban policy by the end of October and start implementing it by January 1st. The governor says this is all about protecting student mental health and boosting academic success.
We get to control the school environment to some degree. Research is also saying that students aren't focused on learning because of the devices that they have. We as adults have to do something.
Schools can allow some exceptions to the governor's cell phone ban that cover students with special medical needs and students with disabilities.
New details this morning about the hundreds of layoffs at ODOT after state lawmakers failed to pass a transportation bill. Without a funding change, ODOT faces a more than $300 million shortfall and says it cannot continue core operations and maintenance at its current levels. Hundreds of employees are expected to be laid off this month. In an email sent to staff last weekend, the agency's director wrote, quote, "This is the hardest message I've ever had to send in my career. I know this is shocking, scary, and frustrating for every single one of you. It is for me too." He went on to say this reduction is short-sighted and fails to account for the cost of inaction. It's sure to cost the state more in the long run as our assets deteriorate. Meantime, the union that represents some ODOT workers say its members may be able to find other jobs.
If your position is slated to be eliminated, but another position that you also could do in the same region is not slated to be eliminated, you could have that position.
For example, on my crew, we could have someone in a shop next to us, say they close that crew down. Those people with a lot of seniority could choose to come to my shop and bump people that they have more seniority, more tenure than.
ODOT estimates 600 to 700 workers will be let go by the end of this month.
We're covering 3 new wildfires this morning that are burning in central and eastern Oregon. All 3 have been spotted here in the past 24 hours.
They're burning in Umatilla, Gillum, and Wasco counties. The largest one is the Cold Springs fire burning in Umatilla County, not far from Hermiston.
So that one started right around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The Umatilla County Sheriff's Office said it had already burned about an estimated 1,000 acres, and it's also reportedly burned at least 1 home. The good news is that as of 10 o'clock last night, all level 3 evacuation orders have been lowered to either level 1 or level 2. The state fire marshal also called in extra crews, including firefighters from Washington and Clackamas counties. We also know there's a Red Cross shelter set up at the Eastern Oregon Trade and Event Center in Hermiston.
And to the west in Gillum County, a wildfire burning north of I-84 near Arlington shut down the freeway for several hours yesterday. The highway has since reopened and evacuation orders there were also canceled.
Level 1 and 2 evacuation orders remained in place overnight in Wasco County because of the Winslow Road fire. Those orders cover a wide area south of Dufur, right near the ghost town of Friend. Firefighters say they stopped the fire's forward progress, but it's not clear this morning how many acres have already burned, and the cause is still under investigation.
And in Portland, an early morning house fire on Northwest Skyline Boulevard sparked a brush fire that firefighters quickly got under control. It started just after 4 o'clock this morning. When firefighters arrived, the home was engulfed in flames. We do not know if anyone was inside or what caused that fire.
Getting back to those wildfires, Rod, I want to say that the conditions that you have forecasted for the next few days should favor all those firefighting efforts.
Yeah, the heat that we had earlier in the week is gone. Winds are kind of typical, anything from westerlies to 15 to when you get between Hood River and the Dalles, west, the peak gust to about 25 this afternoon. Again, temperatures in most spots will stay shy of 90 in the coming days out east. So that is a good news weather forecast, absolutely, for the crews battling those latest blazes we reported on. Here's the live camera of downtown Portland atop the Pioneer Park building, looking over Pioneer Place and the square. Just a beautiful sunny morning and comfortably in the 50s. We're rising now, of course, 8 o'clock hour, 57 is the temperature. We'll be 67 to noon. I have today's high up to about 77, which would equal yesterday's high temperature, by the way. 83 in Madras, 81 in Bend. There's a thunderstorm threat in southeastern Oregon. But again, look at these temperatures, low to mid 80s out through the Columbia Basin, including Hermiston. Not a lot of wind by local standards. Temperatures at the coast today primarily holding in the 60s. We have our 7-day forecast for you. 77 degrees this afternoon, 75 tomorrow. July 4th will be one of the more comfortable July 4ths in memory. Mostly clear tomorrow evening during the fireworks, maybe a northwest breeze to about 10 miles per hour. Saturday could still hold just shy of 80. We think Sunday's 83 or 84. And then we are looking at a few hot days coming up to start next week. 89 Monday, 94 Tuesday, 92 on Wednesday. Not unusual for the weather maps this time of the year to show no rain in Portland or Salem at this point through about the 20th day of July, and that's what they show. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. And of course, on that note, cleanup and work continues because of last month's Rowena fire. Of course, that fire burned and destroyed dozens of homes in Wasco County. So an update here from ODOT earlier this week. Here's some of the photos that they shared with us of the damage to the road. Highway 30, it's about a 3-mile stretch of it, remains closed. So this is east of that iconic Rowena viewpoint here. You can see some of the damage to the signs. They were kind of melted from the heat of that fire. The viewpoint is a gorgeous picture. East of the viewpoint, it's closed. So if you're trying to get to that viewpoint, you'll need to access it from the west. All right, drive times are still heavy right now. I-84 westbound, 32 minutes in from Troutdale because of this. And with that being said, it looks like this disabled vehicle on I-5 southbound has just cleared, but obviously, Stephanie and Drew, you can see here the parking lot here on I-5. So we're going to take a little while to flush this out. We'll keep you posted.
Wow, yeah, a lot of cars out there. Chris, thank you. Coming up here on Sunrise, how a new law will make mental health care more accessible for Oregonians with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Oregon adults with disabilities now have better access to mental health services thanks to a new law. The law addresses a system that frequently kept people with intellectual or developmental disabilities away from mental health care. That includes people like Alex Tennyson. He and his dad Larry were frustrated after they kept getting steered away from the mental health care that Alex needed, all because he has autism. A state lawmaker shared her family's experience with that very same problem. But as KGW's Evan Watson explains, the solution has finally arrived.
Alex, you remember last time we went to the hospital and we sat there all day and nothing happened last June?
Yeah, Dad.
It's a good thing it'll never happen again, right?
Right.
Okay.
Meet Alex Tennyson. He's an Oregon adult with autism. He works in a recycling center, has brilliant memorization skills, and he loves video games. But his dad Larry knows there's more. Alex has a history of mental health challenges. KGW first talked with the Tennysons about them a year ago.
He hears train whistles from when he's a kid. What do you think? What do you think when that happens?
That makes me scared.
Yeah.
And when the incessant noises start, Alex has flipped a switch.
How'd you get that knot up there?
Because.
You hit your head to try and make it stop?
Yes.
Doctors previously told the Tennysons that people like Alex don't make good patients for mental health care.
And that's what we ran into before, is we kind of got nothing. We kind of got sent it off. So now I don't think that's going to be an issue, hopefully.
This session, Oregon lawmakers unanimously passed a bill that says people with intellectual or developmental disabilities cannot be denied access to mental health assessment, treatment, or services.
It's not appropriate for a person having a psychotic break to walk into an emergency room and be told, we don't do people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And that happens. It's happened to a family member of mine. It's happened to many, many people.
Senator Sarah Gelser-Bluin and the bill's other sponsors said legal loopholes allowed public agencies to deny services, and people with disabilities faced gaps in care and fragmented services for too long. Governor Kotek signed that bill into law.
For us and, Alex and myself, it means we can have confidence we go into an emergency situation or a place where we get medical care. We don't have to explain anything about IDD or DD or autism. Theoretically, we can just say, those are his issues, but expect to get the same type of treatment we would if he didn't have those issues.
Larry Tennyson calls it a win for the community. Thankfully, Alex hasn't had as many issues in the last year following a change in support companies and medicines. The calloused knot on his forehead, hopefully a sign of the past.
And Alex, you're having a good day?
Yes, Evan.
A good day.
I'm having a good day.
All right, one more note to Evan's report there. The Oregon Health Authority will likely send out a memo to healthcare organizations and hospitals around the state explaining the new requirements and how providers should be trained. There is no outline, though, for the penalties that hospitals will face if they don't comply.
Let's give you a live look now from our sky cam up at Timberline Lodge, looking at Mount Jefferson. What a beautiful view this morning. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, some clouds behind it, and you do find more or increasing cloudiness as you head south in Oregon this morning, but really from Jefferson northward, it's just a beautiful sunny start to our day.
We're not supposed to complain to the weatherman or blame you when the weather's not nice, but when it's pretty nice like we've had lately, I want to say thanks, Rod. Well done.
Let me get closer. Pick whichever shoulder you like. A little, pat on the back. Oh, come on. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Job, Rod.
Man, that felt good. That felt great.
Rod has been looking for this person in his life for a long time now.
Yeah, finally, somebody patting the weather person on the back.
Well, it's my last day on the show. I'll be back to Dayside next week, but.
Yeah, it's been nice having you fill in.
Thank you, Rod.
Spending your time with us, Stephanie, this morning. All right, our fireworks forecast tomorrow evening. Temperatures start off around 70 in the mid-60s by 10 p.m. So whether you're going to a big show or depending on what part of the state you live in, you're having your own little neighborhood get-together and fireworks fun, you're going to find comfortable temperatures. Here in the valley, winds tomorrow night Northwest 5 to 10, 15 at most. Just really delightful stuff. We're all dry at this hour. You can see there's some clouds moving into San Francisco. It's actually a weak low that's sitting down here. It's throwing some cloudiness up into southern Oregon and will be the trigger for more thunderstorm development across parts of south and southeastern Oregon as you go through the day. These are cumulus clouds. They're starting to pop, it looks like, south of Bend. So this is the track of potential development a little bit later today. Right now, over in Central Oregon, it's gorgeous. Sun River Resort, you see Bachelor right there, all white, sticking up in the middle from the back of Sun River Resort. Just a beautiful sunny morning. There is a risk later today. Actually, our Futurecast models show mostly overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning of some storms in Central Oregon. Here's our Oregon Zoo camera up in the West Hills. Temperature outside, 56 degrees. Just another incredibly comfortable day to be outside working or recreating, just enjoying. 56 in Kelso, sunny skies. 55 up in Seattle, all nice. Salem has partly cloudy conditions on 58. We saw Central Oregon is sunny. There's Bend nearby Sun River at 61. It's also 60 degrees out in Baker City. This is the storm chance being picked up by Futurecast today, mostly this afternoon, south and then going over into southeastern Oregon. This is 5 p.m. But overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, there's a second pop that looks like it crawls up the east flank of the Cascades, moves through Central Oregon, and perhaps produces some early morning rain tomorrow as far north as the Gorge. We'll keep an eye on that. And then tomorrow afternoon, July 4th at 4 p.m., a third wave of storms coming up from the south and drifting off to the east. Of course, all of this will be highly monitored for the threat of new fire starts due to lightning activity. We've had lightning strikes this week, but so far we haven't had any fires that have crazily gotten out of control, so fingers crossed that continues to be the case. We did have the one home lost in that fire that's been burning out toward Hermiston, I believe we reported on. Pacific City, 64, partly cloudy at the beach today, northwest 10 to 15. Valley forecast numbers up to about 80 at most, we think. Southwest Washington primarily holding in the mid to upper 70s. It shows 75 up in Longview. Portland, 77. July 4th, 75. Here's just the terrific holiday weekend that we still are believing will take place. 79 Saturday, 83 on Sunday, followed by some heat next week. Here's Chris.
Rod, that looks awesome. And now my drive is looking a little bit better than it has in the last little while. So a couple of earlier trouble spots finally clear. I-5 over the Markham Bridge, that trouble spot out of the way. I-84, a crash near Lloyd Center, that's out of the way. And the ripple effect that we had where the drive times were really ballooning up, that is starting to improve. Now, all that said, we still have some slow spots out there, like in the drive heading south past Moda Center right now, or actually past the Morrison Bridge on I-5 South and 84 westbound. That's the Blumenauer Bike Bridge there in the distance. You can see for a day before a holiday where maybe a lot of folks may be off, this is still kind of busy. But Stephanie, the point is that the drive is now getting better from where it's been in the last 45 minutes.
That's great news, Chris. Thank you. Still ahead in your national headlines this morning, a new showdown over transgender athletes as the Supreme Court decides it is going to weigh in. What's next in that legal fight after the break?
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back. Now to your morning rush. The Wisconsin Supreme Court has formally struck down an abortion ban dating back to 1849. In a 4-3 decision, the court affirmed a lower court ruling that overturned the ban. The decision also left in place a more recent law allowing most abortions until 20 weeks. The Supreme Court is taking up a case on transgender athletes agreeing to hear challenges to state bans in West Virginia and Idaho. The cases involve 2 students who say state laws violate their rights. Both won injunctions that allow them to continue to compete in sports. A ruling could come from the Supreme Court by June of next year. Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars until his sentencing. This is after he was acquitted on the most serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking this week. A jury still found Combs guilty on 2 lesser charges of transportation to engage in prostitution. Sentencing is scheduled for October 3rd. In California, the Madre fire in Santa Barbara County has exploded to more than 35,000 acres after igniting Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures in the area hit 95 degrees, fueling the rapid spread. So far, there are no reports of injuries or any structures lost. And that is your morning rush. And still ahead in the next half hour, we have reaction to Brian Kohberger's plea deal as families of the victims take different views on that deal. We'll have those details coming up.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW+. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Good morning. I'm Stephanie Domerat. The man accused of a deadly daytime shooting outside the Central Library in downtown Portland earlier this week is being charged with second-degree murder. During his first court appearance yesterday, 26-year-old Hassan Muse denied his identity multiple times, giving the judge a different name while also insisting that police caught the wrong man. Muse was arrested on Tuesday, 10 minutes after police say he fatally shot a man near Southwest 10th and Yamhill. Let's get a look at your weather and head over to Rod Hill for more details on that. Hey.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Beautiful morning. We have Partly cloudy skies over our state capital this morning. This is actually cleared out somewhat from earlier looks, 58 degrees. We've been sunny all morning here in Portland. You see the blue skies over the downtown cityscape in the West Hills. 57. This is just another really comfortable day. 67 at noon, 77 at 5 p.m. will match yesterday's high temperature. And it still looks like we'll be in the 70s for July 4th. In fact, I have tomorrow at 75, mostly sunny overall. A little bit warmer over the weekend, but no warmer than 83 or 84 on Sunday.
All right, kicking off this half hour of the Sunrise Show in Paris. Kicking off the half hour with a little summer relief for some special Parisians.
Look how cute.
What we're talking about here is the Paris Zoo, serving up frozen treats as the temperatures in France push past 95 degrees for a third day in a row. The giraffes got some frozen watermelon. That sounds good, right?
Yeah, it does.
The lions got some blood popsicles.
Oh.
Frosé?
Not blood orange, I don't think.
Blood popsicles. The zoo's chief vet says frozen food is a simple way to keep the animals cool, kind of like ice cream treats for the rest of us.
Yeah, or homemade popsicles.
Yes.
We do that sometimes.
Animals and people can all eat the popsicles.
Yes.
How I don't think it's going to be that hot here over the next 5 days, but you do have, looking past the holiday,
Next week we get
it will
this
heat up again.
90s. Do you guys like ice cream on a 95-degree day? Hands up. Anybody likes it?
I like it on
you
all
do.
days.
I do.
I like it every day.
Well, then your hands up.
Not when it's hot.
Both hands.
Yeah, I'm like Chris. To me, it's heavy. On a hot day,
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Really?
I'd rather do a
sorbet
snow
or something
cone or
like
a
that.
popsicle or something
Yeah.
like
How about
that.
a nice
Shaved
tea?
ice.
Or an iced tea. Iced tea sounds good.
Maybe a Long Island iced tea.
Long Island iced tea. I haven't had that in a long time.
It's
gonna be
8:30 in the morning.
Quite dangerous.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere?
Okay.
I think we've covered everything on the Sunrise Show at this point. Here's a look at our Chinook Wiz Casino Resort camera. This is sunny blue, sunny blue, sunny blue. Isn't that pretty? All right, 55 is the early morning number there. And we're just pretty in Portland, aren't we? Our body of water, of course, is smaller. There's the Willamette. 57 is our temperature outside. Just like yesterday, I think, temperature-wise. 67 at noon, 77 at 5 o'clock. And we will be, I think, no warmer than 77 tomorrow for July 4th. We'll have that 7-day forecast for you coming up shortly. I do want to get you to the rest of the state real quick. There's a thunderstorm chance later today, popping in southern and then migrating over to southeastern Oregon. So Burns, you could have some thunderstorm action later today. 81 your temperature. Now there's a second push of storm activity that could migrate up the east flank of the Cascades into Sun River Bend and Madras overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning to start your holiday, so we'll keep an eye on that. There are the mainly 70s up and down I-5. Some spots could just hit 80 like Salem, Albany, and Eugene, but overall really comfortable, and we have temperatures in the 60s along the coast. I said I'd have the 7-day coming up later in the show, and here it is. 77 today, 75 tomorrow. Great weather. Saturday, 79. Not much variance in the next couple of days. Sunday, you'll probably notice it's starting to warm up. We'll at least be up into the 80s. And there's the heat Drew was talking about, 94 Tuesday of next week. Chris?
That just looks delightful. All right, let's get you out the door. And I got a couple of cameras up here to show you that. And they were all backed up a couple of minutes ago, right? We had earlier trouble in the Banfield and on I-5 South down on the Markham Bridge. Those incidents have all cleared. The drive is still taking a little while to flush out. We still have some red lines on here. But, I mean, I showed you this camera 20 minutes ago. It was stopped. So that in and of itself is an improvement out there. And the drive times continue to drop. I-5 from Clark County right now, about a 17-minute commute. And again, you don't hit that slowing until you get down to about Lombard. Really not so bad out there now. The drive times are improving. Guys?
Chris, thank you.
Murder in the first degree, as it relates to the murder of Madison Mogan, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Haley Gonsalves, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Xana Kernodle, a human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Ethan Chapin, a human being, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
What you just heard there was Brian Kohberger, accused in the murders of 4 Idaho college students. You heard their names. He pled guilty on all 4 counts of murder. The high-profile murder case came to a conclusion yesterday in a Boise courtroom. In return for that guilty plea, he won't face the death penalty.
Instead, he'll likely be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Jim Nelson, with their sister station in Seattle, has the details.
This was about as matter-of-fact as it gets inside the Ada County Courthouse.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Brian Kohberger no longer an alleged killer. Wednesday's hearing started under unique circumstances. The judge gave a charged admonishment for people he said waged a campaign of calls and emails urging him to reject the deal.
It's also highly inappropriate. A court is not supposed to, and this court will never, take into account public sentiment in making an opinion regarding its judicial decisions in cases.
He accepted the agreement, which calls for a life sentence and no death penalty. Kohberger cannot appeal.
Did you, on November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being?
Yes.
Kill and murder Kaylee Gonzalez, a human being?
Yes.
Kill and murder Xana Kernodle, a human being?
Yes.
Did you kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being?
Yes.
Hearing Kohberger say it is one thing, but to see it is another. In a document just obtained, he admitted to willful, unlawful, deliberate, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, killing and murder. It was hand-signed by Kohberger himself. In another rare move, the prosecutor revealed the state's trial evidence, cell phone records, surveillance footage of Kohberger's car circling the student's home over and over minutes before the killings, and evidence linking blood at the scene to DNA on a piece of garbage at Kohberger's parents' house.
Mr. Kohberger entered the residence at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. He did that with the intent to kill. We will not represent that he intended to commit all of the murders that he did that night, but we know that that is what resulted.
Now, the full extent of those details may never be known.
Kohberger's plea deal has divided some of the families of the victims. For some, it ends a years-long painful chapter. For others, they say the deal doesn't bring closure. Joyce Taylor has more.
Nearly 1,000 days after their deaths, the family of Kaylee Gonzalez is fuming. Outraged there will be no trial, no death penalty. Defiant as they arrived at the courthouse hand in hand.
Is this justice?
No.
No?
No. We're going.
Are you guys
Keep
going to be
going.
in the courtroom today?
Keep going.
Some of us will. Okay.
Ready? Steve Gonzalez protesting by refusing to go inside. The Gonzalez family wanted prosecutors to amend the deal, requiring Kohberger give a full confession and the location of the murder weapon. That didn't happen. In contrast, Maddie Mogan's family is glad this part of the legal process may soon be over. Her mom and stepdad, Karen and Scott Laramie, support the plea deal, expressing gratitude for the many people they say put the victims first, including the prosecuting attorneys.
Thank you for all your dedicated, diligent, and tireless commitment to justice and the successful outcome reached today. We support the plea agreement 100%. While we know there are some who do not support it, we ask that they respect our belief that this is the best outcome possible for the victims, their families, and the state of Idaho.
In solidarity with the plea decision, the Chapin family, Jim and Stacy Chapin, along with Ethan's siblings, Maisie and Hunter, were also in the courtroom today.
Did you kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being?
Yes.
Emotional as they heard the man who killed their son finally admit out loud he did it.
We're also hearing a reaction this morning from the small college town of Moscow where the murders took place. Moscow's mayor said he'll never comprehend the senseless murders, but he also said he believes that in this case, the justice system worked.
I think this is as good a verdict as could result from a truly horrific case that should frankly never have occurred at all. And it's something that will always be with us.
The mayor adds that he hopes this plea deal can help the entire community of Moscow truly heal. All right, here in Portland now, the man accused of a deadly daytime shooting earlier this week outside the Central Library downtown is charged with second-degree murder. We're taking a look at his first appearance in court yesterday. 26-year-old Hassam Yus denied his identity in court multiple times, giving the judge a different name, and he also insisted that police caught the wrong man. Yus was arrested on Tuesday about 10 minutes after police say he fatally shot a man near Southwest 10th and Yamhill. The Oregon Department of Justice is letting us know about a new scam that targets people's phone numbers.
So here's how it works. Basically, first you'll get an unexpected text or email saying your phone number has been moved to a different carrier. The message includes a PIN and asks you to call the number provided to secure your phone number. But once you call and put in that PIN, the scammers can take control of your phone number, including any calls and messages. We spoke to a McMinnville couple who says thieves were able to drain several of their bank accounts.
It's definitely scary all of a sudden being like living life normal and then having an unknown person basically stealing all your hard-earned money and all that work that you put in and getting access to just about everything that is or could be you.
To protect yourself, experts say never share a PIN or verification code, even if the person claims to be from your service provider. A way to go around this is you can look up the company's number on your bill or their official website and don't trust the one that comes in a text or email. Also, you can add extra security to your account, like two-factor authentication or a port-out PIN. Both can help stop unauthorized transfers of your phone number. Meantime, in Washington, the state Supreme Court is overhauling the criminal justice system, slashing the number of cases public defenders can take on. Defense attorneys who represent people who can't afford a lawyer will now be limited to 47 felony cases a year. A dramatic drop from the current number of 150 cases. The change aims to fight burnout and high turnover, but critics warn it could be costly, potentially requiring hundreds of new attorneys. Local governments have 10 years to comply with these new rules.
Portland has a new fire chief. Her name is Lauren Johnson. Johnson is leaving her current post as assistant fire chief in Dallas, Texas, to lead the charge here in Portland starting mid-August. Johnson has worked in Dallas for 26 years, but will now be responsible for the 700-plus employees and almost $200 million annual budget of Portland Fire and Rescue.
And it's official, longtime Nike executive Claire Hamill has been named interim team president of Portland's WNBA team. In a statement, she called it an honor to lead the franchise, adding this team will represent what is best about Portland and what is great about women's sports. She went on to say, if you love Portland and the WNBA as much as I do, please join us on this journey. This comes after the former team president, Inky Sun, stepped down last week after 3 months on the job. Hamill will be in charge of launching the team, especially on the business side, such as hiring key staff members and creating an infrastructure within the organization. On July 15th, the team will officially announce its name and other details, though we already got a scoop from the team's trademark application that their name might be the Portland Fire. Love it.
All right, thanks for that, guys. Let's get you back out the door with a look at the roads. The drive has been on and off this morning. We got a couple slow spots right now. I-5 southbound still kind of thick through North Portland. This is up near Lombard, and the drive actually starts bunching up right around the Expo Center. So a little slow on that side of town. We'll switch gears, take over to the Banfield. ODOT reporting a possible disabled vehicle here westbound in the Hollywood district. I don't see it on camera, but you can see we're running a little thick there as well. A quick check of your drive times. These are in much better shape than they were just 30 minutes ago. Right now, your drive in from Troutdale has dropped down to 22 minutes on the I-84 westbound commute. Sunset's a little thick coming down the hill from the zoo, as always, right? And the drive in from North Portland, about 15 minutes to get you from the Interstate Bridge south to the Fremont Bridge. Steph?
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, the 4th of July weekend is just one day away, and although the fireworks might be fun to look at, they can be a nightmare for your pet. So coming up, experts are giving us tips on how to keep your furry friends calm this weekend.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
That may be my favorite 4th of July
I was thinking
segment
the
open
same.
ever.
I was thinking the same thing. Very cute. Could watch that over and over.
Well, the 4th of July is tomorrow, of course, right? That means 4th of July fireworks tomorrow night, and that means a lot of dogs in the area are saying, please help.
Yes, Joe Ranieri brings us details on how to keep your pet safe this holiday weekend.
We all know these are the sights and sounds of the 4th of July. Grand displays of fireworks that go on for hours. But while we might enjoy them, our pets don't feel the same way.
It's just to keep your dog on leash. You know, we don't know how they're going to react. Something could go off unexpectedly, and they might try to dart or get away.
Chief Medical Officer for the Oregon Humane Society, Steve Kochis, says the 4th of July is a holiday a lot of pets, especially dogs, are vulnerable to. Many of them get so scared they run through screen doors, windows, or run away because of the sounds. Kochis says spending time with your pet by taking them on walks or going to the dog park will help when fireworks shows start going off at night.
I recommend that you get your dog nice and tired, so take them out earlier in the day, take them to the park, take them on a long walk. A well-behaved dog is a tired dog.
And when the fireworks are on display, try to keep them distracted with other noises.
As much as you can do to block out the noise, so fan, TV, close the windows, air conditioner on, anything that you can do to drown out the noise.
He says another good thing to do for the 4th of July is to find different ways to distract your pets.
And then there's a variety of different tools for enrichment. So again, just to kind of distract them. So puzzle toys, Kongs, treat mats.
And if you haven't already,
you know, another tip would be to make sure that your pet has visible ID and even more importantly, microchipped with up-to-date microchip information.
In Northeast Portland, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
Important reminder every year.
I mean, we talked about, is it just a dog thing? Is it for all animals? You own 3 different kinds of animals in your house. You've got the cat, the dog, and the pig.
Yes.
Wow. And you
My
say
max on species.
How big is the pig, by the way? Sorry to interrupt.
She's like the size of a medium dog as far as height, but she's big, so she's about 120 pounds.
Jeez.
Kind of my dimensions, more or less. I mean, add some poundage to that. Please continue what Drew was asking you.
No, we can stop. We can change gears. You're weighing in at 120 pounds these days?
No,
Look at you.
Same dimension, but a little heftier.
Got it. Got it.
A little more girth.
What do you got for us?
That's how I would describe
What
her.
were you saying, though? Were all the animals you have the same?
The pig doesn't do well. She doesn't like it.
Okay.
She gets scared.
0 for 1.
Our cat hides a lot when there's any loud noises.
0 for
And then
2.
our dog, I don't know, he's deaf, so I couldn't ask him. But
So he's
he
hanging
seems
in there like,
fine.
what's the problem? What's going on here? Why is everyone running?
He just wants treats like normal.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
That's Doug the pug?
Doug the pug, yeah.
She has a pug named Doug, Rod.
That's cute. Doug the pug.
Yeah, he's new to the family. He's 12, but he's new to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice
My
of you to
finger
take a
means
minute.
it's weather time. Weather
Oh,
time.
no.
Weather,
We're
and
gonna
it's-
keep talking about the animals.
It's fine. I mean, I could do that all day. People probably don't want to listen.
All right, we're dry, we're clear. See some clouds, San Francisco. See a little cloud burst coming up in southern Oregon. There will be thunderstorm activity once again pop in southern Oregon and eventually over into southeastern Oregon during the day. But right now we're all dry as we start our July 3rd, Thursday. Fire weather warning, a red flag warning, same thing, up for southern and the southeastern Oregon later today. And this is for thunderstorm activity. Again, thunderstorms produce lightning. Lightning could produce fire starts. That's the reason that is where the red flag warning is up. Right now, just deep blue over Timberline Lodge. Temperature up there, 49 degrees. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Here's a look at the vineyard, which is now pretty much just clear from the Chehalem tasting room camera in Sherwood. 56 degrees. That's not a spacecraft. I don't know what that is. Something stuck on the camera lens, I'm assuming. 56 is the number there. 58 in Salem, 60 in Eugene. Bend is at 64 degrees. The sunshine at the coast. Newport is sunny. Astoria is partly cloudy. It's sunny over in Bend this morning, again in the mid-60s. Futurecast primarily just using this tool to showcase areas of potential scattered thunderstorm development over the next couple of days. 5 o'clock this afternoon, again, lightning strikes could produce new fire starts, so fire danger considered high later today. This is overnight into early tomorrow morning, Friday at 6:08. Showers, thunderstorms, perhaps racing mainly along the east flank of the Cascades in central Oregon, maybe producing some rain up toward the Dalles or even Hood River. tomorrow morning. And then here's a third outbreak of storm activity, a lot of lightning potentially, nearing Bend and then moving off to the southeast tomorrow afternoon. On the west side, this continues to be an absolutely dry holiday weekend forecast. Here are the numbers for today. Pacific City 63, generally partly cloudy, mostly sunny in the valley. Could be some 80-degree numbers reached in in Salem and McMinnville. Upper 70s to mid 70s in southwest Washington. Portland 77, 75 tomorrow on the 4th, and really comfortable through Sunday. We'll turn up the heat once we get into next week. And now it is birthday time. All right, here comes today's birthday party. July 3rd birthdays. Brantley, 5. Happy birthday. Get the baseball there, bat. And then Lucas is now a teenager. That's huge, right? Teenager, 13. Happy birthday. Wyatt right in the middle of the 20s and doing the Superman weightlifting pose with the weed whacker. All right, very impressive. 25. Here's Janine, beautiful photo there. 29 today. Happy birthday to you. That is our list today. Birthdays at KGW.com, and we will celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Tell those weeds who's boss. Let's get you out the door. New trouble on the Banfield. Westbound 84 disabled vehicle. It's just out of range of this camera vantage point approaching Providence Medical Center here, but you can see that westbound commute a little snarled here. I mean, it's not bad. It's not as bad as it was, but the point is that that's up a little bit. Taking it down to Tualatin, I-5 near the 205 interchange. There's your northbound I-5 commute moving from the lower right-hand part of your screen to the upper left, and that's zipping along just fine. Drive times right now, again, not bad and better than they were, but 23 minutes now, your inbound 84 commute to get you in from Troutdale West to the I-5 split.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We are following breaking news just into our newsroom. The jury has reached a verdict in the rape trial of former Trailblazer Ben McLemore. The jury has found as follows: count 1 of rape, guilty; count 2 of unlawful sexual penetration, guilty; count 3 of sex abuse, not guilty; count 4 also of sex abuse, guilty. Now, this is a developing story. We will follow this and post more details as soon as we get them on our website at kgw.com.
Let's take a look at some of our other top stories here this morning. The man accused in a deadly daytime shooting outside Portland Central Library earlier this week is charged with second-degree murder. 26-year-old Hassam Yus made his first appearance in court yesterday. He was taken into custody Tuesday, just about 10 minutes after officers say he shot and killed a man near Southwest 10th and Yamhill. Hundreds of ODOT employees are facing layoffs after state lawmakers failed to pass a transportation bill during the legislative session. So without a funding fix, ODOT says it's looking at a $300 million shortfall and will not be able to maintain current operations. Between 600 and 700 workers are expected to lose their jobs by the end of the month. We're also tracking the Cold Springs fire in Umatilla County near Hermiston. As of last night, it had burned about 1,000 acres, and we know it also destroyed at least one home. The good news this morning is that all level 3 go now evacuation orders have been lowered to either level 1 or level 2.
Weather forecast is favorable for the crews across our state in terms of wind and temperatures. There is a thunderstorm outbreak expected in south and south central Oregon this afternoon. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Portland, mostly sunny, 77 today, 75 tomorrow. Clearly just a beautiful holiday weekend upcoming, warming to 83 on Sunday.
Our drive's been hit and miss this morning. A little good news here. Westbound 84, earlier trouble near the Providence Medical Center area has just cleared, but you can see traffic still a little thick there. Right now, your drive to get you in from Troutdale, not bad, but a little slow. 21 minutes now west to the I-5 split.
Things moving right along. And tomorrow, of course, it is Independence Day, and the 142nd Wing will conduct Independence Day flyovers across Oregon and Southwest Washington. Here's a list of some of their stops and what time you'll want to look up into the air. For the complete list, you can go to kgw.com.
Huh, can't you see them from Yacold and Ridgefield at the same time? That's my question.
Good question.
Don't look at them yet. Wait till they come here.
They have military precision on the flybys, man. They're right here, right here.
Wow, cool.
Tomorrow, of course, again, is the 4th. Chris has the day off. We're anticipating no traffic tomorrow morning, so Chris gets the day off.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's good because you did double duty yesterday, so.
That's true.
See there. See? Thank you.
Yes.
Stephanie filling in all week for China. China is back next week, but good job filling in.
Oh,
I
thank
heard.
you guys were a lot of fun.
I heard you've been asking management if there's something else you could do here that would bring you in at 3:30 in the morning.
No, I think you heard that wrong, but it's been fun. I love being here. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great day.